The world of gaming is a very weird place, especially in the world of Marvel Contest of Champions and Kabam. You know, even today, in the last couple of hours, we've seen that RuneScape have decided that they are going to allow players to vote on whether they want to keep microtransactions in RuneScape 3, which is a pretty ridiculous thing if you think that this level of power is something that I've said not many developers do this level of kind of reach out to the communities. And one thing that I've always said, especially for the last year, is I think this is the better or best time as ever for Kabam to start doing that. If they've not considered it, to kind of run ideas past the community before even thinking about putting it in, like, just do it. Like, to align with the community is such a mega power. What's the relevance to this? Incredible relevance, because Kabam are doing away with the MCOC Champion Rebalance Program. Yep, this has just come in. Yeah, the headline is, we've made the decision to bring the current rebalance program to a close. Let's face it, over the last 3 years, 2 years of, I think, of this program's actual launch, there's been some really kind of like weird stuff. I think there was, this heralded the stuff with like the Baron Zemo was in the program, or some elements were it to a degree, but also the Mole Man situation, you know, because the bug was there for blinking ages. But the rebalance program from, I think, new champions and champions that Kabam deem to have needs for a buff of some description have been part of this program. The kind of like knee-jerk, because I've referred it into my notes, I referred to this as a knee-jerk reaction, basically because of the Spider-Woman situation. I think it was a knock-on effect from that. And I think people will feel very indifferent about this, because as much as people will be like, yeah, it's rubbish, do away with it, it's got to be done away with, there'll also be others going like, now we're going into a bit of a rogue state. And to jump around things in this, because I'll try and pick a few things apart with it. But this last kind of like section of line, the kind of TLDR of this is Kabam saying, looking ahead, we'll be exploring several different systems to maintain a healthy meta and game experience, and to find something that best suits the community. We want to ensure that players feel that their time and investments are fully respected, while also giving us tools to address major pain points swiftly and fairly. We plan to share more details in the coming months, and we'll be communicating any new approach well in advance before anything impacts future champions. So that's good, but also like it's whether or not Kabam are going down their own path with how they're going to deliver it, and how they feel that champions should be judged on their effectiveness and their power, their defensive prowess and stuff like that. In the last few months, Spider-Woman, of course, is a very good example of that. There has been a lot of talk about defensive champions. There's also been a lot of talk around, decent new champions. I'm looking at, where is it? I'm just trying to find the actual champion in question. I'd say I'm looking at you, Nico. I thought I had a 7-star Nico, but I can't find it for some reason. Anyway, I probably just scooted past her. Or maybe not. Or maybe I'm making it up. Anyway, Nico. So, Nico, but of course there's legacy issues as well. What is the legacy issue? Defenders. Yeah, like this is something that I'm seeing a lot of at the moment, is the sentiment around annoying new defenders, annoying defenders in general, and of course the situation around the likes of Serpent, also the situation around Dark Phoenix, and who's the other one that's annoying defender at the moment? Yelena, maybe a few others as well. Look, the facts are, it's pissing players off. It's pissing a lot of very competitive Battleground players, but also it's pissing off people because it's just like, you can spend a lot of money on a champion that is solely for a defensive means, but the level of countering that is incredibly fine and specific. Or again, the same thing with MCOC. Wait a few months, then there's going to be a counter to the champion that you spent a lot of money to get. And there's no rebalance for the champion that is a powerful defender, or you might need to, it's difficult to then to acquire the champion that's a good counter to get the other one, because that's Marvel Contest of Champions. We all love this game, by the way. I'm not saying that sarcastically, but and it does sound like I said it sarcastically, but we love this game. Like, I do love this game. It might not seem it at times. but it's just because you want the best from it. For me, when I first started, I was like, this is a cool Marvel fighting game. On mobile, great. I love that, and I still do love that. But then when I'm playing other games, like the Marvel Token Fighting, even the arcade game, the one that I played recently, Cosmic Invasion, like, it was just like, I had fun. And I'm not saying I'm not having fun in MCOC, but I think that because of this disconnect with game direction versus community feeling sentiment, and it being kind of like widening like for a long time, it's gonna feel like we need a lot of work from both parties to kind of feel like we're both back on an equal level playing field where we go, player base is happy with game direction and where it's going, and champion direction as well, because that's the main thing about all of this. I suppose my main concerns about this is that whatever direction Kabam actually take this, it's like, do we go back to like a rogue state with how things are rebalanced and investment? And Kabam have said here, when the rebalance program first launched, MCC was in a different place than it is today. The game has evolved tremendously since then, and the program no longer aligns with our current needs. Always good to evolve. You'll still see the upcoming batch update with Falcon, Toad, Spider-Woman, Deathless Vision, but there'll be no additional changes through the rebalance program, nor any ongoing monthly updates. As always, we reserve the right to adjust champions if they critically impacting game health. That said, our rebalance philosophy will return to pre-program routes, thoughtful targeted interventions and bug fixes when truly necessary. And that is a slightly scary thing. I think for Kabam, they're going to have to really look at new champions and how they're created from the beginning. Like looking at every single champion that comes in that's new, and what are going to be some of the key things that are going to piss people off on defense, be too powerful on attack, and just nipping it in the bud very early on. Because otherwise they're going to have to, well, eat their words later on. Kabam will put out dev diaries, won't they? And a lot of the time you'll see certain things be like Karate Mike, and it's not his fault. It's like, hey, Mike, could you do the deep dive for this new champion coming in 2 months' time? Cool, I'll do that. Here's the deep dive. Blah, 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 blah. Video done. Okay, champion's great. I've done all the testing here. Maybe I've noticed something, and the video is ready to go up and go live. Then, when it comes to it, the champion looks really good in those videos, but when it comes to the champion actually being put in, it's like, oh, it's been changed, it's been nerfed, or but I've spent a load of money on this, or I've ranked up the champion quite heavily. And this will mean that if Kabam go down a route of like spontaneous and surprise nerfs, then they've got to consider other kind of factors, which will be ranked down tickets. And for a lot of people that know their Marvel Contest of Champions history and whatnot, then of course you'll know about this champion right here, Namor. You'll know about another champion called Cull Obsidian. Now, if you remember what happened with them, as well as a few others as well, and as well you could say about the 12.0 times, but this is the more recent time where Kabam have had to offer rank down tickets for highly investing into your champions to then, of course, just kind of, I think it was like 2020 or 2019, end of 2019 or kind of early 2020 with it. But yeah, like that's the thing that Kabam have to do. Like, has to be like rank down tickets have got to come back into the thought process, because you're going to be heavily investing into your roster and of course time and shards. Because again, that's another thing. Like if you invested a lot of Titan Crystal shards into getting a champion or champions that are new and they get changed down the line, then you're there like, well, why did I bother to get these Titan crystals in any case? Or why did I bother to go for the crystal of those champions? So one thing I do want to say is that I don't think Kabam can catch a break at the moment. And I'm not saying that in a kind of like sympathetic way. I'm just saying it in a way that because there's no roadmap for the future for MCOC, there is to a degree in some of these live streams, but it's not to the level I think a lot of players in the community want to see. That this kind of like, well, just like lack of awareness and as well faith. That's the word, isn't it? Lack of faith in like Kabam's kind of game direction is coming. I'm not going to doom and gloom it, but it's straight up the facts. At the moment, we're waiting to see what happens with Summoners Fest. I don't think a lot of people are going to get all of the answers. You may get some of the answers of what is going to be positive or negative for the future. And it's a great opportunity for Kabam to really look at themselves, really look at the game, because that's another problem. Because this is the only popular game with Kabam, most successful with Kabam, it shines a bigger lens on this particular game and drawing inspiration from stuff that they're doing elsewhere and directions and stuff and how they're making new mobile games. I've got I've played games on this channel. I work closely with Game Hollywood and F5. So you get an idea of like how games are becoming better and going into that more like idle RPG elements, because it allows players to not have to invest so much of their time, save their time, and also kind of sort of help out their investments. And yeah, just kind of like, I think Kabam just needs to look at inspiration from elsewhere and go, well, what can we, if we're making an RPG fighting game, what type of ease of just making it easy for players to access stuff, to farm things. They're doing it. It's just it's slow. In some cases, it's too slow. And players are noticing it. They're feeling it. And especially when it comes to champion or character rebalances, it is another scary time. And it's the waiting. Like my life at the moment is just stuck in limbo between career stuff, what's happening with my dad, and other things as well. I'm like, I just feel like my life at the moment is just like, I'm waiting for decisions. I'm waiting for answers. I'm waiting for this to confirm. And I think for a lot of us with the player base, it's like you want absolutes and guarantees. So this is now we're going into limbo because we've got to wait. Plan to share more details in the coming months, and we'll be communicating any approach well in advance. So depending on what this is, we've got to hear proposition and then make some thoughts on it. But I'll leave this with you. How do you feel about this? Do you think this is too much of a knee-jerk reaction to the Spider-Woman situation? Is it something that you kind of feel like I do? I do think something needs to give. Something needed to be done. Because it was just the same every month. Oh, this champion's fine. And then it's like, well, sometimes champions are not fine. Serpent was not fine. And there's some defenders as well that are just not fine. So I don't know. I think I just feel like we're going into limbo with this, because when we come out the other end of this next few months, our champions like Dark Phoenix allowed to get just get a free ride. Our champions like Onslaught allowed to get a free ride, and Serpent and whatever, and some attackers are allowed to stay. And it's just the counters that get brought in the future are the counters that like Kabam put in. Like, I just don't know. What are your thoughts? Put it in the comments. I'm out of here. Bye.